Hey everyone, Neen here from the Hyperactive Bookworm. Today I am doing the Sapphic 40 books, not a badge, because I can't do 20 in one. I'm going to be flat out remembering these books, but I'm really excited because these have just been amazing books. They're just incredible. There's some double up of authors because favorite authors are fantastic. So this one's a bit different and I'm feeling a bit weird and different today. It's almost the end of winter, so spring is almost here and it's fabulous and I'm feeling like alive again. So we're going to get into this, but with these books, some of them I read ages ago, months ago, but I hadn't put them in a category. I wasn't sure yet. And now that I've come to it and I've realized, yeah, my organization at the start is just so not me. So while all the other videos I've said which category I'm putting them in, I don't have a category for these because I have no idea, because I'm going to have to rearrange a lot of them. Anyway, I will see if I can get book cards for each of them, whichever ones I can, and I'll pop them up as well, just so you guys can know different categories that they can belong in. But I just love this challenge so much because I've seriously learned about my favorite authors, and that's the dog going psychotic. Anyway, okay. Yes, Papa. Anyway, all right, so let's get started. So most of these books I've either read on audio or ebook, but I do have two of the 10 that I have paperbacks for. And the first one is The Thing About Tilly by G Benson. Oh my God, I had to buy this book after I read it. So for there's a Facebook group, Les Fiction Book Club, which I absolutely adore. It's been so much fun and I've got to meet some incredible, amazing authors. And this was one of the books that I read, can't remember which month. It was a few months ago. And I actually met the lovely G Benson. She was fabulous and we chatted about this book. We did a live video on it, which is on Hyperactive Bookworm. I'm positive it is. So that was really cool. But this book was just so amazing to me. It was my first introduction to G Benson's writing and I fell in love. The Australian feel of it just, it was just fabulous. And if you've watched many of my videos, you know how much I just adore Australian writing. I am so excited about doing more videos about Australian writing because there are amazing authors out there, and the Australian settings have such a different feel and they feel like home. Obviously Australian, and it's just so nice having grown up with a lot of, beautiful settings, don't get me wrong, but they're foreign, they're exotic. It's nice to have ones that are close to home. This book also, the angst is fabulous. The characters are beautiful. It's an ensemble cast. There is a third perspective that you get, which for the life of me right now, I cannot remember their friend's name, but their humor and they're just like, what the hell, broken up with the angst is just so perfectly balanced. G Benson has amazing balance with her writing, and that's one of the things I love. Another thing I love besides the Australian settings is the diversity of her characters. She has different everything, and it's so great. There's bisexual characters, lesbian characters, transgender characters, non-binary characters, and they're not held up as like, oh my gosh, this is the non-binary character, this is transgender character. It just comes out naturally in the story, and that is so beautiful. It's acknowledging without putting a limelight on it, just accepting it as this is normal, this is part of life. And yes, So I love that book. That's fabulous. So Conflict of Interest by Jay. I don't know how I managed to miss this book in the categories before now, because I read it quite a while ago and oh my God, I loved it. I have never read a book that handles rape so well. Doesn't gloss over it, doesn't go into the gory details to the point of uncomfortable, at least not for me, but it was handled so well and respectfully and honestly with the trauma, and it was an amazing book. It's I asked Jay about this, and it did actually start originally as a fanfic for Law and Order SVU, which, hello, brilliant show, based on Olivia Benson. However, of course, Aidan Carlisle, the detective in it, is her own character, 100% her own character, and she's fabulous. But I love that it started out as that, and it was just so brilliant. Dawn Kinsley is amazing, and the relationship between them is so honest and real, and I adore Jay's writing. So this book, I was just blown away by her ability to handle such a triggering topic in such a way that I don't think I've ever felt like it was I've read anything so respectfully but realistically handled before. So yes, that's just such a great book. I love it. All right, so the next book I listened to again. I did a lot of listening of these books, but they're so good. Was Forever and a Day, A Those Who Wait story by Haley Cass. So this is actually a novella set at the end of Those Who Wait, which was such a great book. It was one of the 2 books in this whole year so far that has made me cry. The novella did not, thank God. But it was so great because when I heard about it, I thought, oh yeah, it'll be like 5 years after or something. But it went through so much. Like it encompassed their whole happy ever after sort of thing. It wasn't just a snippet. It wasn't just, the next year or something. It was so well done, and it was so delightful to see where they were, see what happened with them, and I just couldn't get enough of them. Even though Those Who Wait was huge, like this was just fantastic. It was such great closure, and it gave me all the happy, fluffy feelings, and I loved that. All right, the next book is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. The second book, oh yeah, that has made me cry. Now this book, I did a review of it as well, and I can't talk about this enough. Like this series, it's actually made me go back. I'm currently re-listening to this. Actually, I haven't listened to Gideon the Ninth before, but I read Gideon the Ninth like 3 times. I've now gone back and got the audio of Gideon. So I'm listening to Gideon the Ninth because after reading this, mind is blown. A friend of mine did a review of this and saying, I love it and I hate it. It blows your mind. So I've had to go back to the first one just to, oh, right. The foreshadowing is amazing. But this book, oh my God, I never ever thought I would be okay with, what is it? Is it third person? No, second person? Second person, where it says you. And it starts out that way and you're like, and I remember looking at it going, what the hell? Like the first line is, your room had long ago plunged into near darkness. No. What? Huh? Like that's nah. But it just, in the end, I absolutely loved the second person. It was just so good. So yes, that's just brilliant and I love it. All right, the next one I listened to again. I told you, I can't believe how many of these books I listened to, but I've really gone through a lot of the audios at the moment. And Playing the Role of Herself by K.E. Lane. Now, so many people I know talk about how this is their favourite book. Claire Lydon goes on about it all the time. So if you are a big Claire Lydon fan, that's her favourite book. That will go specifically into that category of the Sapphic Book Challenge. But I listen to it because it's not just her. I've heard it from all walks of life. This is a brilliant book. This is a brilliant book. I enjoyed it and I had lots of fun with it and I really did like it. I specifically didn't think there was anything that much. It didn't blow my mind any more than a well-written sapphic romance. So I'm very curious whether it's I think it's an older book. So I'm wondering if it was one of those ones where there weren't a lot around and it sort of has this nostalgic feeling to it as well for other readers, sorry. So I don't know. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I'm not 100% convinced it's this incredible, mind-blowing book. I really liked it. But yeah, so that's how I felt with that one. I still liked it, still big star rating. But yeah, wondering if it's more of a nostalgia thing, but it was great. Next one, True Nature by Jay. Double ups because great authors. What can you do? They keep writing them. I will keep reading them. True Nature, fantastic sequel of Jay's Shapeshifting series. Like she managed to do with Conflict of Interest. She handles topics that I don't feel like I've read good versions of them. And she turns it on their head and goes, nope, here's a great way to write it. And she did that here. I love that there's absolutely none whatsoever attraction to the animal, which that always creeps me out. Like so many paranormal books, so many shapeshifter books, it's all like, really? That's a complete no-go for me. But there's such a distinct fine line. It's the characters, it's the people, it's just so good. And this one has the characters from Second Nature, which is the first book, but they're more like side characters. Jay's really good at that. She doesn't follow on necessarily, or from what I've read, with the same characters as the first story, like their story's told, but side characters from those main characters become the sequels, and I love that so much. So this book was fantastic. I loved it. Made me definitely go, no, not all shapeshifter books are bad. Bring it on. So that's fantastic. Now, one of my ultimate favorite authors, of course, Lee Winter. Changing Script, so fun. Set in New Zealand, so much brilliant just colloquialism and the culture. Some of the same characters from, oh my god, now I'm going to have a mental at... Changing Script was fantastic. I think it was great. It was, oh yes. The dog came in chewing the son's toys. All right, sorry. So Changing Script, another fantastic Lee Winter one. I've gone through all of her books. I'm so sad. Like, I'm excited and sad, but now I have to wait. Instead of having that back catalogue of books of your favourite authors, which is so much fun, you have to wait till they write one, and it takes a long time to write a book. So, but yeah, looks like I'll be rereading a whole bunch of hers very soon. All right, the next book I read is this was my first introduction to this author. And when I've said that, a few people have gone, what? But it is. So this was KJ. She is amazing. Her book, Ignis. So this book is absolutely incredible. I was blown away. I love that there are Sapphic books out there that are not romance. There is romantic elements, but I love that other genres are coming out with it, and it's just so delicious. So this book was incredible. I was blown away. The characterizations are perfect, and the adrenaline when I read it, like, it was one of those books I did not want to stop. There is a timeline change, and, you know, story A, story B, and when you're in story A, like, you just want it, and you're like, no, I don't want to go to story B, and then you go to story B, and you're like, no, I don't want to go back. It was that just amazing, and the past and the present, and the characters were amazing. I have all these notes through it that when I was reading it, and I was just like, oh no, is this a red herring? Is this that? Since then, I've realized I've read it in a completely different way than what some people have read, because it's actually pre-story of other characters in some of her other books, which I find really fascinating. This book is actually in the Les Fiction Book Club's one of the books for this month. So I'm really looking forward to talking to KJ about this. I will put the video up on here after we do the live video, or if you want to join the Facebook group, you can be there for the live. It was so good, but I'm so curious to see, because other people who know some of the characters already, I'm assuming would definitely not have had those sort of ideas, like, is this a bad guy, is this a good guy, like, they know. So it's really interesting to me to see some other people's opinions of this book. So if you've read it, let me know. Had you already read any of her books that have Tal and Felicity in them? Because those characters are fantastic. I'm absolutely blown away by them. But to know that they have another history, I'm so interested at how someone who has read it would have interpreted some of the sections in Ignis. But Ignis is such a great book. I absolutely recommend you go checking it out. It was fabulous. All right, the next book wasn't an audio either. This one was a memoir. I rarely read memoirs. The nonfiction I read are usually craft books, or on a specific topic. They're not books about people's lives. So this was a shock to me. I did do a book review of this one as well. I've done book reviews on a lot of these books. So this one's called Queerly Beloved, A Love Story Across Genders by Diane and Jacob Anderson Minshall. It hit home because their situation from the outside looking in is very similar to my own situation. Hello, puppy. Yeah. So, I have procrastinated reading this book for a long time. Because I wasn't sure how I would handle it. It didn't upset me. It was very interesting and educational for me. But I specifically got myself to read it for the Sapphic Challenge because there's one of the categories that says a genre you don't normally read. So this I know will definitely go into that category for me. So that was very interesting. I actually did enjoy the book. I'm not a big memoir fan though, so it was never going to be the everything book for me, even with the topic being the same. Yes. All right. Now, the last book of the 10. Oh my God. I did a review for this book as well, and I've just recently finished it, and it is, well, I started with G Benson, I'm ending with G Benson. Dead Les Walking. This is my everything book. This is my jam. So it's just like all different sexualities, all different nationalities, all different genders. Like, it was just everything. And then you throw in zombies, because hell yes. So it was just incredible. This book was just, oh, this is my jam, man. And G Benson's writing is just, my gosh. Her writing's beautiful and hilarious, and, you know, a zombie apocalypse with hilarity. And it just, it had, wait, she's not a little puppy. Anyway, so Dead Les Walking. Oh my God. Give it a try. It's hilarious. There are some really gruesome scenes, and I'm all for that. There was some hilarious scenes. There's some really heart-wrenching, like, oh, gasp for breath scenes. Like, it just balances beautifully. And it is definitely one of my tops. So, they're my next 10 books in my Sapphic Books Challenge. That's the Sapphic 40 books, not a badge. But yeah, so if you haven't heard of the Sapphic Book Challenge, go watch my other one. No, I'm kidding. If you haven't heard of the Sapphic Book Challenge, it was done by Jay, the author Jay. She has spent so much time and energy, and she gives so much to this community. And her writing's beautiful as well. Like, she's amazing. I'll put all the links down below so you can go check it out. It's for the whole year. So, of course, if you still want to get a few badges, you still can. You have time. And depending on how quickly you read, hell, you could have them all. But this is, yeah, so I'm up to 40 books. Like I've said in previous videos, my aim is the Dragon Badge, which is 50 books. I also want the Unicorn Badge, which is 10 of a list of 12 categories that are harder to find. I'm on 8 of those at the moment. I want to do another 2 for them. Hopefully I'll get the Unicorn Badge done soon, and then the Dragon Badge, and I'll have it done. So I've got a few more months to read basically 12 more books of the Sapphic genre. I just keep getting caught up with so many books. Unfortunately, not all of them are Sapphic, though a good fair chunk of what I've read this year is, and I'm loving it because I'm finding all different genres, and it's just making me fall in love with reading all over again. It is just the most incredible thing. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. And hopefully, you know, maybe you've found some more books to have a look at, or let me know what you think, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.